Welcome everyone to another episode of Let's Talk Special Economic Zones. I'm your host Ainsley Brown. I'm the Senior Director with responsibility for regulations, policy monitoring, and enforcement at Jamaica's Special Economic Zone Authority. In today's episode, we're going to cover special economic special economic zones as hubs. Just recently, I read a piece from the World Economic Forum, and it spoke to what Africa can learn from Hong Kong and Singapore in relation to hubs. And it immediately struck me, and it was about the launch in January 1st, 2021, of the African Free Trade Area. And it immediately struck me that wherever there the hubbing or clustering of activities, whether it's an electronics hub, a logistics, shipping, manufacturing, banking, financial services, whatever the hub is or clustering is, chances are their special economic zones were used as a tool to affect that hub or those hubs. And when you look at the two countries that were cited in the title, at least they covered some other countries in the article. Um, you will, and I'll place it down in the bottom of the box down below the description box, the link to the article. When you look at it or the different countries, you really see that the special economic zones were really behind much of the hubbing or the of or clustering, and it spoke to using certain advantages, geographic advantages, and again, I'm then reminded of the transformation underway in Jamaica to transform us as a logistics hub or wider a logistics centered economy. And it speaks to things taking advantage of language, which we have English as our language here in Jamaica, geography, which means proximity to large markets, which Jamaica sits in the middle of the Western Hemisphere. The largest market, of course, of all global markets, the United States, is to our north. And to our south, we have other countries, Brazil, Colombia, and so forth, and to our west, Costa Rica, Mexico, and so forth, Panama. And it really speaks to exploiting or using the advantages you have to create a hub. Now, in a previous episode, I spoke about clustering and using the special economic zones as a tool for that. So this is basically a continuation of that, and I also spoke about it being organic or being planned. And the article really spoke about the plan side of things, what can be done to actually stimulate a hub. And it really is down to the private sector. Even in the areas where the state led, such as Singapore, um, it was still down to the private sector. And there had to be a relationship with the private sector. And importantly, when we say private sector, we don't just mean existing private sector that's in your country or here in Jamaica. It means the private sector that is to come, the private sector that you want to attract, private sector that will build out that hub or those hubs that you want to be known for. Um, Singapore, for example, has moved aggressively in life sciences. For example, it already had itself well established as a hub for shipping, hub for logistics, warehousing, electronics, manufacturing, and it's almost like the Lord of the Rings, where there's the one ring that controls them all. So Singapore isn't just one hub; it's several hubs: a financial hub, logistics hub, shipping hub, manufacturing hub, life sciences hub, and likewise Hong Kong. um, Dubai, similar, Rotterdam, similar, and such and so forth around the globe. And it speaks to the fact that small states can play up their advantages, the natural advantages that they have, or advantages that they can acquire and gain, like skills training and skills development of their population, and to be able to leverage that to attract and then build out various types of clusters. And that is the essence of the Logistics Hub initiative in Jamaica. It's not, as much as the name says logistics, it's not just about logistics, because logistics is derived demand. The logistic services, it's about movement from point A to point B and all the things associated with it. So, that includes manufacturing. So, how exactly do you get that going? So, in having a logistics hub or having a logistics centered economy is not just about the movement alone, it's about everything that's associated with that movement. So, um, in many ways, and it's unfortunate sometimes people get drawn into simply that name, logistics hub. When I tend to say we're building a logistics and trade hub, they're like, oh, I get it. But it's more than that. It's a manufacturing hub. It's a global services hub, for back office type of operations. Just as an example, it's a arbitration hub where disputes can be settled here. It's a bunkering hub for shipping. It's a shipping hub. All the different types of things, and it's how do you leverage? How do you build out the right types of infrastructure? How do you do the proper training of your people? Take advantage of your natural things, natural proximity to large markets, language, and things like that. So, special economic zones are a proven and effective tool for that hubbing or creation of that hub or clusters that you wish to seek or attract. But there are certain catalysts that are necessary. And also, even where it's been state led, even and the biggest state of all, that state led, China, it's still up to the private sector. You must have a relationship. The government and the private sector must work hand in hand in order to build out these clusters, and that's what we're doing in Jamaica. So if you found this episode interesting or liked it at all, please like, share, leave a comment for any future episodes you would like to see or explanations. If you have any questions or comments, please leave it down below, and I will see you soon.